Hi to all. This video is going to be for chapter 3 lesson 6, which is about arithmetic sequence. Now this is also related to the functions which we learned in the previous lessons, but it's going to be a little bit of different one where we are going to find the sequence, which means a pattern. Well, we all have learned about patterns of different things. So here we are going to learn about arithmetic sequence. Let me quickly give you an introduction about arithmetic sequence. What is an arithmetic sequence? A pattern of numbers will be given to you, and the difference between them should be the same. If only the difference between them are the same, that's called an arithmetic sequence. So for example, if the difference between the first two numbers is plus 3 and the next two is plus 5, then that's not an arithmetic sequence. For an arithmetic for a pattern to be an arithmetic sequence, the difference between both of them, like all the digits, should be same. Keeping this in mind, let's see how to solve this one. So the question says, determine whether each sequence is an arithmetic sequence. If so, find the common difference and the next three terms. So if it is an arithmetic sequence, then we need to find the difference, common difference, and then the next three terms. The hint which you could use here is, if the pattern is increasing, if the pattern is let me try it the other way. If the pattern is increasing, that means there should have been an addition or a multiplication happen there. Okay, mostly we deal with addition. We don't have multiplication in according to your lesson, but if it is there, then we have to deal with that too. And if the value of the numbers is decreasing, that means there is subtraction or division. Already, as I told you, patterns mostly deal with addition and subtraction, so that's why they say the common difference. If not, we will have to see about multiplication or division as well. Let's see negative 10. So this first question, what's the difference between negative 10 and negative 7? If I would put that in a number line for you, the number line will have numbers from here, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, and so on. So when negative 10 becomes negative 7, that means we are adding. And why are we adding? Because we are moving to the right. So we have addition of 3. So if this is plus 3, that means the difference between negative 7 and negative 4 should also be plus 3. Let's see that that works for us. Is the difference the same? So we are here, negative 7. Again, we are moving towards the right. So 1, 2, 3. Is that plus 3? Yes, it is. So the difference between the two terms is addition of 3, adding 3. And if you would do this, negative 4 and negative 1, the difference between both of them is also plus 3, which means the difference is same, which means yes, it is an arithmetic sequence. Now, if it is an arithmetic sequence, so first let's write yes, it is an arithmetic sequence. So if it is so, then we need to find the next three terms for this pattern. Now, if you can do it mentally, that's perfect. But if not, then let's use the number line to do it. Here we are on negative 1, which means we are going to add 3. So which means 1, 2, 3. That would mean you will end up at positive 2. So the next number for this pattern is going to be positive 2. And then if it's 2 here, you're going to add again 3. So 2 plus 3 is going to give you 5, and then 5 plus 3 will give you 8. So these are the next three terms of the pattern. Well, here we have 0, 1.5, 3, and 4.5. So let's find out the difference between both of them. What's the difference between 0 and 1.5? Now this is increasing, which means there is addition or multiplication. So let's try with addition. If you have 0 and 1.5, definitely that's going to be a plus 1.5, right? Now what's the difference between 1.5 and 3? How do you find out what's the difference between 1.5 and 3? Simply subtract 3 from 1.5, because we are finding the difference, right? So we can minus and we can subtract and find out. Again, it is 1.5, which means it is an addition of 1.5. Again, 4.5 and 3, what's the difference between 4.5 and 3? Again, there is a difference of 1.5. So plus 1.5, which means yes, it is an arithmetic sequence, which says that we need to find the next three terms. So you need to keep adding 1.5 to the next term. So how much is 4.5 plus 1.5? That would give you 6. Then 6 plus 1.5 would give you a 7.5. 7.5 plus 1.5 would give you a 9. If you have any confusion, do write it in a separate place and then add them. You will get the answers similar to what we got. So to find the pattern, we follow the rule. But to find the difference between two numbers, we subtract them from each other. Now that was an easy one. Let's try this out. Now again here the pattern is increasing. The numbers are increasing, which means 5, 8. So the difference between 5 and 8 is plus 3. The difference between 8 and 12 is not plus 3, it's plus 4. And here it is plus 5. So which means this is not an arithmetic sequence because the difference between both of them is not the same. I mean, difference between the common difference is not the same. So it's not an arithmetic sequence. Always remember the difference between all the numbers should be the same like the above ones which we did. If not, if you find anything like this question here, then it is not an arithmetic sequence. The next one, it's negative 20, negative 20.5, negative. Now it's a pattern of decreasing because they're becoming more in negative numbers. So which means there has been a negative, a minus. Minus of how much? This is, as soon as we see, we can say that it's a negative 0.5 because there's a difference of 0.5 between each of them. So there's a difference of negative 0.5, which means minus 0.5 from each. So yes, this is an arithmetic sequence. So if so, we have to find the next three terms. So 21.5 minus 0.5, that will give you a 21. Sorry, that's going to give you, yeah, subtracting, right? So negative 20.1.5 minus 0.5 would give you a 22, but a negative 1. So negative 22. The next one is going to be negative 22.5. And then again it's going to be negative 23. If you would ask me how you got this answer, it's going to be negative 21.5 minus 0.5. So both of them are negative numbers, which means we literally add them. So if you would add, you would get 22.0, but then we keep the sign the same, so that's a negative 22. Then you can complete the pattern. This is how you determine what is an arithmetic sequence. So an arithmetic sequence should have all the same, difference the same. It cannot have different numbers. If it is the same, then you continue following the pattern to get the next numbers, next terms. Right, let's see here. The next question is find the indicated term of each arithmetic sequence. Now here they want, this is a pattern, you can see that 0, negative 4, negative 8, negative 12, but they want you to find the 28th term. Now it's not possible for us to keep writing until we find the 25th term, so there is a common formula we use to find this. What is the formula? It is a sub n is the term to be found, equals a sub 1, this is called a sub 1, a sub n, that's how you read these numbers, plus n minus 1 d. This is the formula we use to find out any terms which we want. Now let me explain one by one what do these mean. First, let's find out the difference between these. So 0 to negative 4, that means there's minus, so it's a difference of negative 4. Negative 4 to negative 8, it's again a difference of negative 4. This difference here, which is negative, that is the value of d. So d is negative 4. Then, according to the formula, we have an n. What is n? N is the number which we are going to find. So here the n is 28. And then a1 is the first term in the sequence. This is the first number in the sequence. So that becomes a1. Now we have all the three values with us. Only we have to solve the formula. So here formula is written. I'm just replacing that with numbers in this part here. So an, that's a sub n, that's a sub 28 because the value of n is 28, equals a sub 1 is 0. plus n is 28 minus 1 and then multiplied by d, which is negative 4. You have to solve this. First solve what's inside the parenthesis. If you do not follow the order of operation, your answer will be wrong. So 28 minus 1 would give you 27, then negative 4. Next one you're going to solve is multiply both of them. So a negative 4 multiplied by 27 would give you a negative, because you're multiplying with a negative number. So that would give you 108. Yeah. Then you know that if there is negative and positive, that will be a negative one here. That means 0 minus 108. So a sub 28 is going to be equal to negative 108. Yes, it does take time until you practice, but once you get the hold of it, it becomes very easy. Let's try one more question. So here you need to find the 15th term in this sequence. So the difference, of course, you have to find the difference between both of them. And to find the difference, you will subtract 3.5 from 2. So then you will get it is a addition of 1.5 because the pattern is increasing, if you notice. So it's plus of 1.5. If you are not sure, check with the other numbers as well. That's subtract 5 from 3.5, you will get 1.5. So it's an addition of 1.5. Let's write the components now here. So the value of d is going to be 1.5, positive 1.5. Value of n is going to be 15. That's the term to be found. A1, that's the first term in the sequence, that's going to be 2. Let's put that in the formula now. So A sub 15 equals A1, that's 2, plus n is 15 minus 1, and d is 1.5. Again, let me remind you, you have to solve the one in the parenthesis first. So 15 minus 1 is 14 multiplied by 1.5. Then 14 multiplied by 1.5 would give you, never use the calculator because this gives an exercise for our brain. So avoid using calculators how much ever possible. So the answer is 21. 14 multiplied by 1.5 is going to give you a 21. So 2 plus 21 is going to give you a 23. So a sub 15, that's the 15th term in this pattern, is going to be 23. Now you could do this as mental math as well, which simply multiply 1 with 14, that would give you a 14. 0.5 means half. Half multiplied by 14 would give you a 7, so that would even result in 21. That's how mentally you multiply decimals with numbers. If you got these kind of numbers, that's how you multiply them. So one more question and then the remaining, all of them remains the same. So I'll just give you the answers for the remaining one, but then you need to follow the same pattern. Here in this question, they did not give you any pattern, any sequence. Rather, they have given you the direct components for the formula. So we are going to find the 37th term, that's n. N is going to be 37. A1 is negative 3 and the difference is 2.8. Let's put that in the formula. So A sub 37 equals negative 3, that's A1, negative 3 plus 37 minus 1, n minus 1 multiplied by 2.8. That would mean 36 multiplied by 2.8. So 36 multiplied by 2.8 is going to give you 8 6 are 48, 8 3s are 24, plus 4 would give you a 28. Always when you're doing the questions, talk to yourself so that if any mistake is there, you will by yourself feel that there is something wrong. So 6 and 7 here, 8, 10, and 10 again, the decimal here. So the answer here is going to be 3 plus 100.8. Now what you need to do, you have to solve this. So we are going to subtract because one is negative, one is positive. We are going to subtract 100.8 from 3. Now don't place 3 here because this is a decimal. 3 alone means it's 3.0, so you need to take care of that as well here when you're solving this. So the answer here is going to be 97.8, which is the 37th term for this sequence. We have to be a bit careful because you have to multiply with decimals as well as you have to subtract decimals. So you need to be extra careful when you're doing such questions. Right, now this remaining you will do the same way. So rather than doing all the questions, let me just give the answer. If you have got the answer correct, that's well done. If not, do again, you will get the correct answer. It's okay to make mistakes because if you make mistakes, you learn something more extra. So it's always better to make mistakes and do something rather than not doing anything. So for this, the 14th term for this pattern is going to be 60.8. The 17th term for this is going to be negative 34.5. And for this, it's going to be 73.8. So these are the terms. Accordingly, if you do, you will get the answer right. Always notice if the difference is for negative, the answer should always be a negative 1 as well. So you can keep that as a hint when you're doing. If the difference is minus, that's if there's a difference of negative numbers, then your answer needs to be in negative as well. Right, let's move on to some problem solving now. A movie rental club charges 4.95 for the first month's rental. The club charges 18.95 for each additional month. How much is the total cost for 1 year? So they're asking the total cost for 1 year, which means, and then the question talks about months. So 1 year has 12 months. You cannot just multiply 1 with the difference there because the question is talking about months. Everything should be calculated in months. So 4.95 for the first month means 4.95 is the first number in the pattern. So A1 is going to be 4.95. Then the club charges 18.95 for each additional month, which means the difference additional. So additional means the pattern. That is going to be 18.95. And how much is the total cost for 1 year? We are going to find it out. So n is going to be equal to 12 because 12 months. We cannot write 1 year, your answer will be wrong. Let's put that in the formula. What was the formula? A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 multiplied by t. So a sub 12 is going to be equal to 4.95 plus 12 minus 1 multiplied by 18.95. Always solve the parentheses first. So this is going to give you an 11 multiplied by 18.95. So 11 multiplied by 18.95 means your answer will be 189.5 because 18.95 you're multiplying by 11. That would give you 11 5s are 55. 11 9s are 99. 99 plus 5 is going to give you how much? 104. So carry the 10. 11 8s are 88. 88 plus 10 would give you a 98. Yes, it is quite a big calculation, but then you will get practice. 11 ones are 11. 11 plus 9 is 20. So even I was wrong. I was thinking that's a 10. So it's 208.45. So 4.95 plus 208.45. Add them together. Place the decimals right in the correct places. That would mean 13, 14, 12, 13, 1, 2. So that would mean 213.40. If you would use a calculator, yes, I know you would get easy answers, but that's not the exercise we need to keep for brain, because we want our brain to keep working. So better without using the calculator to do it. This is how you need to solve it. So for 12 months, that's for 1 year, it's going to be, so let's write it down here. How much is the total cost? So the total cost is 213.40 for 1 year. Now, it's not applicable only for this question. Do keep in mind, whenever you come across such questions, read carefully, because they're problem solving questions. You need to read and make sure that everything is in the correct order, in the same format. Only then you can solve these. One more question. A carnival game awards a prize if Casey can shoot a basket. The charge is $5 for the first shot. So they said $5 for the first shot, which means A1 is going to be 5. Then $2 for each additional shot. So $2 for each addition means the difference is going to be 2. Casey needs 11 shots to win a prize. So N is going to be 11. I think it's easy now for us. So A sub 11 is going to be equal to A1, that's 5, plus N minus 1 multiplied by D. 11 minus 1 would give you a 10 multiplied by 2, that's 5 plus 20, which is $25. So what is the total amount Casey spent to win a prize? She's spending $25. This is an easy one compared to the previous one, right? Because they're whole numbers, so it's easy to calculate whole numbers rather than decimals and fractions. This is how you need to do it. If you did not understand the question, do keep reading it. The once your brain tries to understand, it will definitely respond by understanding the question better. So keep reading the question, or if you do not. But these are the keywords. The first means the first term. Then additional means it's the difference. And then she needed 11 shots, which means we had to find the 11th pattern. So this is how you need to do. As I always say, practice is the only key to be great in math and to do good math. So keep practicing till we meet again.